Father's Day, eh? Most dads get socks. Maybe a dodgy mug saying, world's best dad. You know, the usual landfill. Me? My daughter sends me a mysterious gift box. Very dramatic. My wife takes one look at it, whispers, don't open it. Now, when your wife, who's seen you in socks, sandals, and A&E on the same day, says don't open it, you listen. I squint at the box, and suddenly my blood freezes. Oh, brilliant. 10 minutes later, the police show up. Yep, police. Because nothing says Happy Father's Day quite like the sound of sirens. And you'll never believe what was in that box. Oops, can't spoil it yet. Anyway, let's rewind. The day started with Samantha, my darling daughter, asking for money. Again, because apparently I'm not her father. I'm an ATM with arthritis. She actually said, Dad, I need the money now, not after you die. Charming, isn't it? Happy Father's Day. Dad, can you hurry up and kick the bucket so I can buy new shoes? She drops her coffee mug. Shatters everywhere. Brown puddle all over the Persian rug. Perfect. That rug's been with us longer than her last 3 boyfriends combined. I clutch the inheritance papers. 30 years of sweat and sacrifice. And what's she doing? Waving them around like they're Monopoly money. Then there's Peter. Peter. The son-in-law no one ordered, but Amazon delivered anyway. He's lounging on my leather sofa. My sofa. Smirking like he's auditioning for world's smuggest man. He goes, Come on, Will. What's a few thousand? Help us out. A few thousand? Mate, the only thing you work harder at than scrounging is losing at gambling. I stand up, very dramatic, joints cracking like old furniture. I tell him, I've been helping you for 3 years. My retirement fund is not your piggy bank. Jessica, my wife, tries to calm everyone down with her dish towel like she's conducting a hostage negotiation. But Samantha? Oh no. She explodes. He's sitting on hundreds of thousands while we're drowning in debt. Debt you created, darling, with your handbags, highlights, and Peter's brand new trainers. Your drowning looks remarkably well dressed. Then Peter pipes up again. You're not getting any younger. Why not enjoy sharing your wealth while you're alive? Oh, wonderful. Advice from a man whose only financial plan is hope your father-in-law bails you out. I finally snap. Get out. Yep, I said it. Out of my house. Samantha shrieks. Your house? Mom helped pay for this. I grew up here. Yes, sweetheart, you grew up here. Which is why I'd like to still live here, without funding your next spa weekend. But they don't move. They just stand there, waiting for me to cave, like I always do. Except not this time. I throw the door open. Evening air. Neighbors laughing in the distance. You know, normal families not at war over handbags and gambling debts. I say, take your husband and leave. Don't come back until you're ready to talk about your money problems like adults. And then Samantha hisses, oh, proper horror movie style. You'll regret this when you're old and sick and need someone to take care of you. Yes, darling. Because nothing says future carer like the woman who just told him to hurry up and die. Her heels click out like gunshots. Peter trailing behind with all the menace of a damp sponge. And me? I just stand there, staring at the door, wondering how on earth Father's Day went from gift box to call the police. Oops, did I just hint at the box again? This isn't over, old man, Peter muttered, slamming the door so hard the windows rattled like they just heard the gossip. Oh, yes. Family doesn't abandon family, he'd said. Translation. We'll be back for more money when we've blown this lot too. Through the glass panels of the front door, I watched Samantha's BMW screech off down the driveway, tires spinning like she was escaping a bank robbery, probably practicing for her next one. Jessica patted up behind me. William. Oh, here we go. The voice that means I'm about to say something calm, while you're about to lose the plot entirely. I turned and surveyed the battlefield formerly known as our living room. Coffee stains on the rug we bought for our 20th anniversary. Inheritance papers strewn across the floor like autumn leaves, except autumn leaves don't cost 30 years of my life. A family photo lying face down, frame flashing in the lamplight like it was laughing at me. 43 years. I muttered. What? Jessica asked. 43 years I worked overtime. Extra shifts so she could have new clothes, college books, and that car for her 16th birthday. Remember the wedding we couldn't afford but somehow paid for? All of it. Every sacrifice. So Madam could now stand here and demand my retirement fund like it's a Tesco Club card voucher. Jessica bent down, gathering up the papers with the delicacy of a bomb squad. She's struggling, William. Struggling? No, love. Struggling is forgetting your PIN number. This is a gambling problem wrapped in a Chanel handbag. Every casino trip, every online bet, every lie, her choices. I picked up the family photo, put it back on the mantel, and there she was, little 5-year-old Samantha, gap-toothed grin, sitting on my shoulders at the county fair. I actually whispered, when did that sweet kid turn into this? And yes, I remember the dollhouse, the fancy one from that overpriced toy shop. I worked 2 months of double shifts just so she could move a tiny plastic family into a plastic mansion. Spoiler, the mansion turned out to be more stable than her actual one. Jessica stayed quiet because she remembered too. The ballet lessons, the summer camps, the branded shoes so she wouldn't feel left out at school. Every sacrifice made with a smile until tonight when she started throwing coffee mugs because Daddy won't hand over his entire pension. She didn't throw it at you, William. She threw it at the floor. Oh, brilliant, what a relief. The rug took the hit, not my head. That makes it all fine, doesn't it? I bent down, picked up another inheritance paper. The words blurred, but I knew them by heart. Every clause, every careful plan. Also, she'd be secure after I'm gone. But apparently, after I'm gone doesn't fit in her schedule. Peter's influence, Jessica said softly. He puts ideas in her head. Peter didn't invent her greed. I shot back. He just handed a microphone. And that was the ugly truth, wasn't it? We'd let this happen. Always caving in. Always smoothing it over with money. Always buying peace with checks. Well, guess what? The bank of Dad is finally closed. Then my phone buzzed. Text from Samantha. Yes, the digital dagger. It read, "Hope you're happy, Dad. The kids need coats and school supplies, but clearly your money's more important. Don't expect to see your grandchildren." Oh, here we go. The grandchildren card. Always her ace in the hole. Emma and Jake, 8 and 6. 2 innocent pawns and their mothers wore on my wallet. I showed Jessica the message. Her face collapsed. She wouldn't, would she? Of course she would. She's done it before. A week here, 2 weeks there. Withholding access to the grandkids like it's some kind of sick loyalty point scheme. Jessica whispered, maybe we should reconsider. No, one word. Sharp as a gunshot. No more hostages. I will not teach Emma and Jake that love is measured in pound signs. Jessica flinched. 38 years married, and she'd rarely heard me like this. But something had cracked tonight, and it wasn't just a coffee mug. My phone buzzed again. Another message. And 6 days later, there I was, sitting on the front porch with a Sunday paper, clutching a mug of cold coffee like it was the last piece of normality I had left. Watching neighbors laugh, pack cars, head out for family outings. Normal families. Imagine that. Oops, did I just skip ahead a bit? Don't worry, you'll see why. hotels were in their garden, laughing away like normal families do. Must be nice, eh? Meanwhile, I'm on my porch, pretending the Sunday paper can distract me from the Samantha-shaped crater in my life. Spoiler, it can't. Jessica was inside, rattling the breakfast dishes around like she was auditioning for Come Dine With Me. We'd spent a week carefully avoiding the subject of our daughter, which is impressive, because avoiding Samantha is like trying not to notice an elephant tap dancing in your lounge. Then I heard it, the rumble of a delivery truck. A brown UPS van pulled up outside. Now, we weren't expecting anything. And Sunday deliveries? Those only happen if someone's paid extra. And in this house, the only thing I pay extra for is peace and quiet. Spoiler again, I never get it. The driver hops out, clipboard in hand. William Carr. That's me, I say. Happy Father's Day, he chirps, handing me a medium-sized box. Lovely. Because nothing says Happy Father's Day like a suspicious cardboard mystery. No return address. Just generic shipping. Ominous much? Felt light too, like an empty shoebox. Jessica pops her head out. Who's that from? No idea, I say, plunking on the coffee table. She squints. Because Jessica has two hobbies. Crosswords and worrying about suspicious parcels. Maybe it's from the grandchildren, she offers. Oh, yes, because 6-year-old Jake definitely went online, typed in my address, and paid for premium Sunday delivery with his pocket money. Very realistic. I humored her. Could be, but it felt too convenient. Too plotted. Jessica crouches down, inspecting the thing like Poirot with a dish towel. Then she says, William, don't open it. Excuse me? It's Father's Day, not a hostage situation. Why? I ask. She points at the side of the box. The holes. Breathing holes. I froze. Oh, fantastic. Because clearly what every 66-year-old man wants for Father's Day is a parcel with its own air supply. Now that she'd said it, I saw them. Tiny punctures in the cardboard. Neat, deliberate. Breathing holes. I muttered, voice flat. Jessica backs away like the box might leap up and ask her for a sandwich. Something's alive in there. Brilliant. Just brilliant. We both stood staring at it. Normal-looking parcel. Deadly aura of doom. My living room felt less like home and more like a low-budget horror film. Who would send us something alive? Jessica whispered, but I already knew. Didn't need Sherlock Holmes. The timing. The no return address, the Sunday delivery to make sure I was home. This wasn't a gift. Oh no. And then the box rustled. Both of us froze. Silence. Then again. Rustle. Louder. Jessica dug her nails into my arm. Did you hear that? No. Love. I thought the box was just stretching its legs. I nodded. Couldn't trust my voice. Then came the hiss. A soft, snaky hiss. Long drawn out. Real enough to chill my blood. Jessica's grip tightened. William, she whispered, breathless. Call someone. Now. So there I stood, hand shaking, pulling out my phone about to explain to emergency services that my Father's Day present might just be alive. Oops. Did I mention? This is the bit where it all goes downhill. So there I am, dialing 911 with trembling fingers, which, let's be honest, is impressive given I can barely text without hitting 3 wrong letters. What's your emergency? The operator asks. Oh, nothing much. I reply, voice cracking. Just a suspicious box on my coffee table. You know, the usual Sunday morning decor. Oh, and it's alive. The words tumbled out like a bad excuse at school. Delivered this morning, no return address, and now it's hissing. Yes, hissing, because apparently I live in a pet shop now. The dispatcher calmly asks me to describe the sounds. I glance at Jessica. She nods like she's a full woman in court. Hissing, I mutter, couldn't even bring myself to finish the sentence with snake. Because if you say it out loud, it becomes real. And frankly, reality was doing enough damage already. Any visible threats or damage? They ask. Well, apart from the tiny breathing holes that scream, "Congratulations, you've adopted Satan's pet." No, none. They tell us to stay 6 feet away and not touch the package. 6 feet? That's a sneeze away. 10 minutes till the police arrive. Brilliant. 10 minutes with a mystery horror box auditioning for Britain's Got Talent in my lounge. Jessica whispers, "Who could have done this?" Who indeed? Of course I knew. We both knew. But saying it out loud felt like signing a confession form. It had Samantha written all over it. The timing. Father's Day. The fact she left our house 6 days ago spitting venom. This wasn't anger anymore. This was revenge. Then the box moved again. Not just hissed, rustled. Something alive in there, shifting about like it was getting comfortable. Lovely. Because who doesn't want to spend their retirement hosting whatever fresh nightmare their daughters posted through the mail? Jessica's voice broke. What kind of person does this to their own parents? Well, Jessica, someone who thinks Gucci handbags count as basic survival needs, apparently. But deep down, we both knew this wasn't a tantrum. This was planned, calculated, proper psychological warfare. Somewhere, Samantha was probably thinking she'd nailed her villain origin story. Then salvation. Car door slam outside. I peek out the window. A police cruiser pulls up. 2 officers step out, walking with that brisk, "We've seen worse than your IKEA snake box" kind of confidence. My knees nearly gave out. Finally, professionals. Because nothing says Happy Father's Day like letting strangers deal with whatever creature your daughters mailed you. Doorbell rings. Sharp, authoritative, like a judge calling order in court. I fling the door open before he can knock again. Officer Reeves, his badge says, tall, solid, the kind of man you believe when he says everything's under control. "Mr. Carr, we got a call about a suspicious package." "Yes, officer. Thank you for coming so quickly," I said, practically dragging him inside. "It's in the living room. Do take your boots off, though. Persian rug, stains, long story." Jessica hovers in the hallway. Apron still on, hands twisted like she's kneading invisible dough. "We're just so grateful you're here. We didn't know what else to do." "You did exactly the right thing, ma'am," he says, calm as you like. And just like that, we lead him into the living room, where the world's most terrifying cardboard box sat looking oddly small now that professional help had arrived. Of course, small doesn't mean safe. Oops, you'll see. Officer Reeves strolls in, cool as a cucumber, latex gloves at the ready. Because nothing says Sunday service like a man about to poke a mystery box in your lounge. "When did this arrive?" he asks. "About 35 minutes ago." I say, "Special Father's Day delivery." Nothing says love you, dad like a box that hisses at you. He peers at the label. No return address. Classic, because all the best gifts come anonymously and hiss. Jessica pipes up, "It was hissing like she can't finish." Reeves nods, deadpan. "Like a snake." "Oh, good. Excellent." Always nice when professionals say the exact word you've been avoiding. Like they're reading the script for a horror film you didn't audition for. He radios in for animal control. 20 minutes. Great. 20 more minutes of snake in a box. The home edition. Then he hits me with the dreaded question. "Any idea who might have sent this?" "Oh, I don't know, officer. Maybe the Easter Bunny? The Queen?" No idea at all. I mumble something about kids playing pranks. But he's not buying it. His eyebrow does this little Sherlock Holmes thing. Kids would need access to live animals, shipping materials, and your address. District planning. Brilliant. Just brilliant. Because I've been hoping it was a neighborhood 8-year-old with a hamster, not a family member with a vendetta. Then comes a killer question. "Any unusual charges on your credit cards recently? Pet stores? Exotic animals?" My stomach drops. Oh no. Oh, yes. That stupid charge I'd seen last month. Reptile Palace, 127 pounds and 50 pence. I'd assumed Samantha bought the grandkids something ridiculous, like a tortoise in a tutu. Nope. Apparently it was a snake. My snake. Mr. Carr, are you all right? Reeves asks. Oh, I'm peachy, officer. Just realizing my darling daughter celebrated Father's Day by sending me a reptile in a box. Totally fine. Pass me a cuppa, and we'll call it even. He asks if I want to file a report. Turn Samantha in. And honestly, a part of me screams yes. But the louder part, the parent part, remembers she once made me a macaroni picture frame in year 3. And how do you put the police on speed dial for someone who glued pasta for you? Exactly. So I mutter, no, let's not make a mountain out of a molehill. A molehill, as if a snake delivery is the same as finding a missing sock in the wash. Reeves writes in his little notebook, with the face of a man who's seen this all before. Family protects family. Even when family sends reptiles via royal mail. Then, hallelujah, animal control arrives. A white van pulls up. Out comes Mike Johnson, apparently the David Attenborough of snake removal. Reeves tells me he's the best in the county. Comforting, because the best in the county means this happens often enough to rape people. Mike works with the efficiency of a man who's seen weirder. 20 minutes later, out comes a culprit, a 3-foot corn snake. Non-venomous. Thank heavens. Just a slithery house guest with no rent money. Beautiful specimen, Mike says, tucking it away like it's a lost kitten. Someone paid good money for this one. Oh, wonderful. Glad to know my daughter didn't cheap out on my attempted Father's Day panic attack. Classy. Reeves shakes my hand before leaving. Call us if you remember anything else. Even pranks like this can escalate. The coffee table's still at faint watermarks, where Snake Man Mike had heroically wiped away reptile germs, like he was scrubbing away my daughter's betrayal with Dettol. Spoiler, didn't work. Jessica was in the kitchen, scrubbing dishes like she was auditioning for World's Angriest Dishwasher 2025. That's her coping mechanism. Furious cleaning. Meanwhile, I stood at the window watching the Hendersons come home from their wholesome Father's Day picnic. Their car full of kids, laughter, sandwiches. You know, normal family things. Not snake mail. And there I was, thinking, lucky sods. No snake grams for them. But me? Oh, I had the gift that keeps on giving. A 127 pounds and 50 pence Reptile Palace charge sitting in my brain like a neon sign flashing. Daddy's little girl bought a snake with your credit card, mate. I scrolled to Samantha's number. Her contact photo smiled up at me, taken at Emma's birthday party back, when things were, civilized, before she started treating us like her personal ATM, before she decided grandchildren were weapons, before the snake stunt. Jessica appeared in the doorway, arms crossed, eyes sharp. Are you really gonna call her? I need to know. I muttered, which is dad code for, I'm about to make the stupidest phone call of my life. Phone rings. Twice. Dad. Samantha's voice is fake cheerful, like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. That voice she uses when she wants money. Oh, here we go. How's your Father's Day going? She chirps. How's my Father's Day going? Oh, peachy darling. Just received a live reptile in the post. The usual. Interesting morning, actually. I say, casual as anything. Wouldn't happen to know anything about a strange Father's Day gift, would you? No, Dad. What happened? She blurts. A bit too quickly. Suspicious. But then, in the background, a laugh. Peter's laugh. Her husband. Not surprised. Oh, wow, that's insane laugh. No. A smug, I'm so clever, Bond villain chuckle. And that was it. My blood turned cold. Game over. I force a smile into my voice. Just a mix-up with delivery. Nothing important. Enjoy your Sunday. She even had the nerve to say, you sound strange. Yes, Samantha. I sound strange because you sent me a snake in a box. Forgive me if my tone isn't bursting with Father's Day joy. I hung up before my hand shook the phone out of existence. Jessica came over, read my face like a novel. You heard something. Peter laughed. My voice flat as roadkill. That's all it took. Her hand tightened on my arm, and she whispered, "What are you going to do?" Oh, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I looked toward my office. The kingdom of passwords, bank accounts, and credit cards that kept my darling snake charmer daughter afloat for 3 long years. "I'm going to teach her about consequences," I said. Calm, cold, the sort of tone you use before doing something that absolutely won't end up in a family therapy session. By 7 o'clock, I was sat at my desk, door shut, computer humming like it knew drama was about to happen. And there it all was. 3 decades of receipts for Samantha's greatest hits. Rent covered. Credit card bills paid. Car payments, tick. Wedding costs, tick. Gambling debts, oh yes, tick, tick, tick. Every single financial disaster of hers, neatly disguised as emergencies. And me? I paid them all. Because apparently I thought being a father meant doubling, as the Bank of England. But now every single paper on my desk told the same tragic little bedtime story. Daddy's wallet. The never-ending fairy tale. Spoiler alert, the sequel's been canceled. The glow on my computer screen made the whole thing feel very ceremonial. Like I wasn't just online banking. I was holding an execution. Samantha was still an authorized user on my credit card. Authorized. More like permanently attached, like a financial leech since university. That was meant to be for emergencies. But apparently in her dictionary, emergency means car, rent, handbags, shoes, and oh yes, let's not forget live snake shopping sprees. I hovered over remove authorized user. 10 seconds, maybe more. Not out of hesitation. No, I was just letting the drama of the moment sink in. 30 years of bailing her out, and here it was. One click to set myself free. Click. Gone. Her golden ticket revoked. Willy Wonka had left the factory. Next, the pin. Samantha had always mysteriously guessed it, probably from her eagle-eyed habit of hovering behind me whenever I typed. This time, I picked numbers she'd never guess. The year Jessica and I got married. Because apparently my marriage means something to me, unlike to my daughter, who thinks Father's Day equals snake bomb. Then I went full Terminator mode. Canceled the monthly transfers. Axed the car insurance payments. Killed her sacred gym subscription, the one she swore kept her mentally stable. Yeah, sure love, because nothing screams mental stability like threatening your parents with reptiles. One by one, I cut the cords. My mouse didn't shake once. My hands didn't tremble. It wasn't cruelty. It wasn't revenge. It was something she'd never met before. Consequences. 30 years of enabling undone in 30 minutes of clicking. Look at me. The Usain Bolt of tough love. I hit save changes. And for the first time in decades, I didn't feel like an exhausted cash machine about to spit out another tenner. I felt in control. Tomorrow, Samantha's whole world would implode. Decline cards. Bounce payments. A gym membership turned to dust. Somewhere out there, a car insurance company would be sending her a nice oops letter. And me? I'd be drinking tea, front row seat, no guilt attached. Next morning came. Peaceful. Almost smug. Sunlight poured in. Coffee was hot, paper in my hand. Jessica pottered around the kitchen with her silent little smirk that said, "I know what you did last night, and I love it." And then, 8:15 on the dot. The phone rang. Of course it did. Samantha, right on schedule. Honestly, she's like Big Ben when it comes to disasters. I let it ring twice more. Why rush? Let her sweat. "Good morning, Samantha." "Dad, what have you done?" she screeched, like she just found out Tesco had banned her. "My card isn't working. I tried to buy groceries. Declined. My car insurance bounced. What is happening?" I sipped my coffee. Slowly. Dramatically. "Samantha," I said, calm as anything, "I know you sent me that Father's Day gift." The silence on the other end? Delicious. And there it was, the voice shift. Panic had left the building, and in marched defensive fury, stomping about like it paid rent. You've lost your mind. How could you set me up like this? Set her up? Set her up. Not, what are you talking about, Dad? Not what Father's Day gift. No, straight to your framing me, like I'd been planting snakes around the country in some elaborate Scooby-Doo plot. I kept calm. Calm in a way only a man who's finally canceled 30 years of direct debits can be. I didn't do anything, Samantha. I just stopped paying for your nonsense. She shrieked. This is insane. You can't just cut me off without warning. I have bills, obligations, responsibilities. Responsibilities. Oh, that's rich. I let the word dangle there like a bad smell. Responsibilities like not mailing your dad a live reptile. Responsibilities like paying your own rent. Responsibilities like not treating me as a 24-hour ATM machine. Jessica had frozen mid-kitchen routine, tea towel in hand, watching me like she was witnessing her husband's coronation. And honestly, she kinda was. Dad, please, Samantha whined. You don't understand. Peter and I are struggling right now. The rent, the car payment. Correction, love. My rent, my car payment. Her version of struggling meant I wasn't bankrolling her anymore. Then she tried the nuclear option. Fine. You want to play games? Don't expect to see your grandchildren. Emma and Jake won't even remember you. I cut her off, steady as you like. Samantha, those threats stopped working yesterday. The line went quiet except for her angry breathing. I could almost hear the gears grinding as she switched manipulation tactics. Sure enough, here came victim voice, the same one that had emptied my wallet since the 90s. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I'm your daughter. I'm struggling. And instead of helping me, you're punishing me for something I didn't even do. Oops. Notice the clever trick? Still no denial. Not a whisper of "What snake, Dad?" Just the classic. I didn't even do anything blanket statement. Textbook guilty child. Your struggle isn't my responsibility. I said, your choices created your situation. Your choices sent that package. Your choices will decide what happens next. She snapped. You're being ridiculous. One little prank, and you completely lose your mind. Ah, there it was. The golden ticket. The oops. Not quite a confession, but close enough to frame and hang in the hallway. A live snake, now officially demoted to one little prank. Lovely. A prank with a dangerous animal isn't little, Samantha. And me finally cutting you off isn't losing my mind. It's finally finding it. That shut her up for about 5 seconds before she went full Ice Queen. This isn't over, old man. You think you can control me by controlling money? We'll see about that. And just like that, click, line dead. I set the phone down gently, like I just finished a mildly amusing podcast. Jessica looked at me with full-on admiration. Honestly, and there she was, still trying. You can't just cut me off because of some ridiculous misunderstanding about a Father's Day package. Ah yes, the famous misunderstanding defense. Send your dad a live snake, call it a prank, and then act shocked when the bank shuts down your free loading account. Totally relatable. There's no misunderstanding, Samantha, I said, calm as a man who'd already clicked cancel subscription. You sent me a snake. I responded appropriately. Cue Peter. He waddled forward, filling the doorway with all the menace of a bloke who's only ever fought for the last sausage roll at Greg's. Look, old man, maybe you didn't think this through. Samantha's got responsibilities. Responsibilities? Oh, brilliant. Here we go again. The kids, the bills, the rent, all those magical adult things people usually handle with jobs. Kids whose mother uses them as blackmail chips. I replied evenly. Samantha's face twisted into fury. Fine. You'll never see your grandchildren again. Emma and Jake will grow up knowing their grandfather chose money over family. Once upon a time, that line would have gutted me. But now, it bounced right off. Samantha, I said quietly, that's not a threat. That's a blessing. Oh, the look. Pure shock. Like I just announced I was moving to Spain and taking the herb garden with me. Even Peter's jaw dropped. "What?" she stammered. "If you're the kind of parent who waves kids around like hostage notes, maybe it's better they don't learn that trick while they're young." Peter decided it was his big moment. He leaned in so close I could practically smell his aftershave. Probably discount rates by little. "We know where you live. Old man, we know your routines. Maybe rethink this." I didn't even blink. "Peter, are you threatening me?" He smirked. "I'm just saying family works both ways. You cut us off. Don't expect us to disappear quietly." Actually, that's exactly what I expect. Otherwise, it's not family business anymore, it's police business. That shut him up for about 2 seconds. Samantha grabbed his arm, but instead of calming him, it seemed to wind him up further. "You think you're smart, don't you?" he spat. "Cutting us off doesn't make you powerful. There are other ways to get what we need." "There are indeed," I said, "like employment. Been quite popular for centuries. Look it up." Samantha hissed like the snake she'd ordered. "This isn't over. You'll regret this. Family doesn't abandon family. There will be consequences." I shrugged. "There already are. You're living them right now." And that was it. They stared at me. Finally realizing the bank of Dad had permanently closed its doors. No overdrafts, no emergency loans, no snake returns policy. Samantha spun round, stomped back the car like an angry toddler leaving Tesco, without her sweets. Peter lingered, shot me his best, "Watch your back" glare, then followed. Their car engine screamed out of the driveway like it was auditioning for Fast and Furious. Council estate drift. Only when their taillights vanished did I shut the door. Jessica's face was pale, but her eyes were shining. Pride. Actual pride. First time in years I'd seen that look. "We're gonna need legal advice." I muttered. "Romantic." I know. The evening crept in, wrapping the house in quiet that felt rare and fragile. We sat at the kitchen table, the safe place where all big talks happened. Chamomile tea for Jessica, too much coffee for me. Comfort in mugs, after chaos at the door. Jessica broke the silence. "I keep thinking about when she was 8. Remember that Mother's Day breakfast? Burnt toast, orange juice with more pulp than liquid. But she was so proud." I remembered. Pink pajamas, tiny stool, her little face beaming as she presented charcoal toast and a sticky glass of juice. Felt like a memory stolen from someone else's family now. She used to draw us pictures. I said, stick figures holding hands. I kept them in my desk drawer for years. You know when someone you love says something so predictable you could lip sync it in advance? Yeah, that was Jessica. There she was, clutching her chamomile tea like it held the secrets of the universe, saying the words I've been waiting for all day. Maybe we can fix this. Maybe family can heal. Ah yes, classic Jess. My wife, the eternal peacemaker. She could probably negotiate peace between lions and gazelles if you gave her half an hour and a tray of biscuits. And don't get me wrong, I love her for it. But sometimes it's like watching someone try to glue back together a grenade. Jess, I said all gentle, like I wasn't 2 seconds from laughing at the absurdity. She crossed a line. And I've got one more step to take. Teacup freezes midair. Concerned wife face activated. What kind of step? Oh, just the kind where you legally shut the door on your manipulative daughter and throw away the key. You know, minor stuff. Something permanent. I told her, something that ensures this circus never comes marching up our driveway again. You're talking about changing the will. Not even a question. Straight to the point. Smart woman. Yep. No money. No inheritance. No carrot for her to dangle us around with anymore. Let her find another bank account to raid. Preferably one with free overdraft. Jessica went quiet, which is dangerous. By the way, when my wife's quiet, it's not peace. It's her brain holding a funeral for the idea of normal family life. Finally, she whispered, the grandchildren. Ah yes, Emma and Jake. Lovely kids. Shame their mother treats them like little human loyalty cards. Spend time with Grandpa. Get points toward a new handbag. Tragic. Jess, I said, today wasn't desperation. It was calculated cruelty. The snake. The threats. The blackmail. She's not drowning. She's shoving us under and asking for petrol money while she does it. But Jessica being Jessica, she still squeezed my hand, thumb across the knuckles like she'd been doing since. So, I sat there with Margaret Summers, our family lawyer and part-time miracle worker. You mentioned wanting to restructure your inheritance, she said. Yes, I want my money to go to my grandchildren's education, not Samantha's casino fund. I replied, keeping it polite. You know, because subtlety is key when discussing a daughter who thinks money grows on her father's patience. That's a wise decision, Margaret said, professional warmth dialed up to 11. We can create an educational trust fund for Emma and Jake. Covers school, college, legitimate expenses. Samantha and Peter? Nada. Zip. No access, no control. No chance to turn your grandchildren into mini mercenaries. Ah, sweet justice. Independent trustee. Document everything. Money only released for actual education. None of that buy a new handbag for every birthday nonsense. What about Jessica? I asked. Margaret blinked. Fully protected, of course. Your house, retirement accounts, her security. Nothing changes there. Only Samantha gets the cold shoulder. Perfect. Let her go try her scams on someone else. Next up, restraining order. Margaret opened a new file and started writing down everything from yesterday's snake debacle to the threatening glances. The snake incident, she said, shows planning and malice. Courts really like that. How long will this take? I asked, trying to sound casual while thinking, finally, I might sleep again. Well, the will modifications can be done within a week. The restraining order can be filed today. Once it's granted, any contact from Samantha or Peter becomes a criminal matter. Ah, sweet, sweet relief. No more living life like a character in a bizarre soap opera. Margaret leaned closer. Document everything. Every call, every attempt to corner you. Samantha and Peter don't take boundaries gracefully. When they find out about the will and the order, things may escalate. I nodded. Not worried anymore. Legal protections. System handles them. Me? Free to sip tea in peace without wondering if my daughter is mailing venomous snakes next. Margaret's assistant brought in the documents. I signed page after page, each pen stroke a tiny victory. 30 years of enabling, officially over. Margaret smiled. Court officers will serve them by tomorrow. After that, any contact with you or Jessica is a criminal matter. I tucked the folder under my arm like a trophy. Finally, the scales tipped. Samantha's options? Gone. Manipulation? Bounced. Control? Revoked. Outside, life carried on like normal. Mrs. Patterson planting flowers. Henderson kids cycling past. Blissfully ignorant of my family's recent venomous drama. The papers were delivered, I told Jessica later. Standing in the kitchen. This afternoon? She asked, hopeful. Done, I said, and that was it. No arguments, no protests, no emotional hostage-taking. Just peace. Quiet, sweet legal peace. She sat beside me, hand in mine, and for the first time in 30 years we felt it. Freedom. Free from manipulation. Free from drama. Free to sip coffee like normal people. Who knew law could feel this satisfying? Oops. I sat there thinking about the little girl I'd raised, the one who drew stick-figure families and proudly burnt toast for Mother's Day breakfast. That girl had grown into someone who sends live snakes to her father and threatens to weaponize her own kids against him. Ah, evolution at its finest. It had been a slow transformation, subtle enough that I spent decades making excuses for increasingly ridiculous behavior. But the woman who'd stood on my doorstep demanding money? Nope. Not my problem anymore. The legal documents had done what love alone could never manage. Create boundaries. Boundaries with teeth. The irony wasn't lost on me. Samantha had spent years dangling Emma and Jake like bargaining chips whenever I didn't cough up more cash. And now, through her own spectacularly poor life choices, she'd ensured permanent separation and simultaneously lost any claim to the inheritance she'd been drooling over. Karma's little gift wrap parcel, really. Emma and Jake, meanwhile, would be provided for through their educational trust fund. Professionals would manage it. No sneaky parental maneuvers, no threats, no wild guesses about tuition payments. Books, tutoring, college, secure, sensible, untouchable. Meanwhile, Samantha and Peter? Nada. Jessica squeezed my hand. You think she understands what she's lost? She will. I said, try not to grin like a villain. The restraining order makes any attempt to contact us a criminal matter. The will changes mean no inheritance to fight over, no financial incentive to maintain even hostile contact. If she tries anything, it's the police department's problem, not ours. Oh, sweet relief. For 30 years, I've been Samantha's human safety net. Classic car sold for gambling debts. Rent paid when emergencies magically appeared. Checks written like some hopeless magician conjuring endless rescues. That snake? Her final, venomous communique. Everything she needed to say about our relationship neatly packed into one terrifying cardboard box. And instead of scaring me back into submission, it pushed me straight to Margaret's office and the legal protections I should have demanded decades ago. Oops. As the sun set through the kitchen window, Jessica and I cooked dinner together. Quietly, efficiently, peacefully. No texts, no phone calls, no demands, no threats, no daddy. Save me from life again. Just the calm after a storm so long and exhausting that silence felt luxurious. Tomorrow, we'd wake up legally protected from harassment, retirement savings intact, growing interest instead of disappearing into someone else's mess, marriage intact, stress levels finally dipping below nuclear meltdown. I had reclaimed my role as a father who loved his daughter enough to say no to enabling her self-destruction. Legal boundaries had replaced emotional blackmail. Professional consequences had replaced family guilt. The law had handed me my life back on a silver platter. Tonight, for the first time in decades, I'd sleep without wondering what tomorrow's disaster would cost me. No snakes, no threats, no panic, just sleep. Sweet, uninterrupted, blissful sleep. Oops. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. To hear the next tale of family chaos and questionable life choices, click the box on the left. Thanks for watching.